Hi, Peter Bernstein, Senior Editor of TMCnet.com at ITEXPO West in Las Vegas. We're just off the show floor, and we have a wonderful visitor here, Robert Messer, who is the president of ABP Tech. And Robert, you have an unusual seat in our industry because you cover a whole broad swath of capabilities. And the reason that it's really great you stopped by is you're the right person to talk to about industry trends. So what are you seeing? What are people buying? Where do you think we're going?
Thank you, Peter. Well, I think we're in a very interesting time with a lot of new opportunities. I think the only thing that doesn't change is that there's always change. And we've been in this space for, I think, 14 years. My God, we're hitting 15 soon. And it's been quite a ride. Everything has changed a lot. In the early days, we had a lot of the normal reselling situations in the market, which we still have, but online purchasing habits, the newer generation of people that don't need that much support, that will just buy things online, has definitely changed the landscape for a lot of our partners, and made it a little bit harder to compete on price on products. So service, of course, has been the next step in the market, but it's very difficult. You don't want to. You can't build a business by just selling hours. It's hard.
So for the people who are watching this who may not be familiar with your company, let's quickly go over what you do and why you're an important part of the ecosystem.
Okay. Well, we are a specialty distributor in the voice over IP space originally. We moved into the general IP technology since then, so we got into IP surveillance, into physical security in IP, biometrics, everything that's connected to physical security space, and IP infrastructure. That is basically your network inside of the building, your routers, your switches, your fiber network, whatever you use to get that connectivity to the network.
Which is really interesting because having spent quite a bit of time in your booth in the last couple of days, you're really at the heart of the connected world in a lot of ways. There's this really interesting convergence of what's traditionally been telecom and Internet of Things, whatever you want to call it. And if you look across the people who are your partners, you really kind of cover the gamut. What's exciting you right now?
Right now, probably the most exciting thing for us is when we kind of reach back into the internet connection. So we're reaching into, where does the internet hit my enterprise, my business? How can I ensure that connectivity is always there? How can I ensure the quality of the voice? How can I ensure that we're not using the bandwidth for the wrong means, so that we're not wasting bandwidth? How can we make sure that we're not wasting people's time spending times on the wrong applications, for example? Those things, I think, are really cool because they help us, just the connection to the internet itself.
Plus, the nature of traffic is changing as well, right?
Yeah, and the security aspect too. I mean, today security has become very important, and businesses can be basically out of business for days if they have problems on their systems. So that infrastructure piece is key. Another aspect of infrastructure that people neglected is things like just the basic switches and the cabling in the offices. We kind of have it all done and it's working. But who would like to use a 6-year-old cell phone, right? We know what that means, but we're living with 6-year-old switches and routers, right? And there's so much changed, right? And now that everything is moving into the cloud, it's really time to update those things and go with what the current technology allows in terms of quality, in terms of security, in terms of redundancy. So those are the things that we're seeing, that excited me these days.
And do you believe this is being driven by customer demand or by the industry trying to push solutions on people?
Oh, I think it's the customers sometimes don't know what they need, right? So we're the reseller or today's version of technology partner. That's how we call our resellers.
Right.
They're the customer's technology partner. That role is very important because as a business manager, I cannot know everything about security, about video surveillance, about networking, about quality of service, about routers. That's just not my job, right? And smaller companies can't afford to have the people, specialists, so they need somebody outside that can help them and put it all together. So we still see a very important role of the technology partner in this space, but it's been morphing, it's been changing.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have some great partners. I'm sure you had a great show, and thanks for stopping by and sharing your
Thank you.
thoughts
It
with
was
us.
a pleasure, Peter.